Hello again. It's July 17th. My son Zeke is here to help again today.
Hello.
It's a Thursday. It's our bee club meeting. Before we go, we wanted to get in the hives here and check out. We have some that I got some honey supers on. This one I have just one on each. I don't expect them to be doing much, and these two 4.9s have been really slow to take off. But we're going to see just what's going on, and so we can maybe have something to report at the meeting tonight. But so welcome to join us here. We're going to get our smoker and stuff all ready, and let's see what today will show us. Bees crawling all over. Well, looks like quite a few bees up here in this honey super, but I think they're just cleaning it out. Not a stitch of honey up here yet, which doesn't surprise me. 4.9s have a lot of building out to do. It looks like they're really getting it cleaned up and built out and ready. Not just cleaning up the food, but they're cleaning it up, getting it ready for putting honey in. I think they'll be using it. Alright, let's not get them too angry. Now these next two, you want to hold that right there? And there.
I see a drone bee, Dad.
You got a drone there, huh?
Yeah, I saw a drone.
Kind of stand back down here a little bit. They do tend to really go to the white suit. Not a real tight pattern, but it's alright. You know it. Swarm cells on the hive. Big peanut shapes down here. Hopefully you can see that okay. Well, there's some super procedures in the middle. This has been continuous with these 4.9s. These super procedures and swarm cells. I have no idea why. I can see they're not very happy bees. That's a hatched out queen cell there. So I'm certainly not expecting to get any honey off of this hive at all this year. I don't believe I'll get much honey anyway. So I'm going to see if they won't go ahead and draw this out. It's more 4.9 frame and foundation. If these bees aren't going to amount to much, maybe I can at least get a little work out of them, getting some drawn out for the future here. Okay, again, what we've seen here was more swarm cells and some super procedure. It's like, what are they doing? I don't really know at this point. I've been very frustrated with the 4.9s I've gotten. Is it the size of the comb? Is it the bees? These are supposed to be 4.9 downsized bees already. They came in a nuke, but they sure don't seem to be taken to the hive very well. Oh, that is the scent of the sting. I think she might have got a little sting through the glove. They can sting through the gloves, I've noticed. They don't get much venom through though. It's usually a very light sting. Yeah, we're just kind of making fast work of it here today to see what we can find out in the second 4.9. We'll start at the top. I see some good healthy drawing out here. This one's looking a little better in the sense that there's some weight to this frame. There's some honey up here, which is a very good sign. Hopefully this one will be doing a little better. How's your hand doing? Yeah, it's stung for a while. Dick's been stung before and he has a pretty mild reaction, so we feel okay there. So far, first frame looks fairly normal. Mostly hatched out though. See what we got for number 2. Here they're starting to do some capping off and larva stuff going on. He seems to want to be over here, so let's see what this side looks like. Whole slug of drones. Good opportunity to do a varroa mite check. Get in and pry some of the drones loose, and you can look at the drones and inspect for varroa mites just with a fork. Pretty effective. Nothing. They look very clean. And since this hive doesn't need to feed a ton of drones, there's a varroa mite. I see one. 2 big scoopfuls before I actually found one varroa mite. Fresh brood. So there's some good things going on here, just not a whole lot of it. I like to kind of swirl them on so I don't crush too many bees. I'll just put off an alarm scent. I'm going to add one more brood chamber. We're not actually looking for a lot of honey this year. What we're looking for is a strong colony to go through the winter. Getting it ready up top, not much happening. They got so much work to do down below, that's not surprising. No ant problem in either one of these. That seems to have cured itself. Alright, to get a good idea of what's going on, I'm going to move the camera here. And we're going to go into my Georgia bees. They're full size, but they're very strong. Okay, now we're going to get into our hive of bees that came from Georgia, from Dale Wolf there. And these are so much calmer. You'll notice a striking difference as we open up this hive. I smoked it a little bit. Hey, Zeke. And this is just loaded with bees. Unbelievable amounts of bees in here. They're just pouring out the front all the time and kind of anxious to go in and see what's going on in this one. I like to do this one after those aggressive 4.9s from Florida because it makes it just so much more pleasant. In fact, I still got bees buzzing me from that other one. These guys are so calm. Probably about 4 frames, just, you know, getting started, maybe a quarter full. Okay, this is the first of our 3-body brood chambers. I'm going to set that aside for a minute. Starting to cap off some honey on here, although they didn't draw it out real far. I think because the one next to it was drawn out so far. Oh! Another one just weighted down with honey. Okay, we're going to get into the second of the brood chamber bodies here. See what we got going on. Oh, expecting to see lots of larvae. Whew. Very nice. Now you can tell the difference that this is a successful hive. When you look at the clumps and clumps of larvae, just a few drone. Not all drone crazy. Developing cap developing, very nice. Perfect scenario there. A lot of pollen food. Most of the pollen seems to be down here. Definitely a lot lighter. A lot of honey in that one. Okay, again, not much honey up here yet. Okay, this is our last two hives. This is the hive Zeke's smoking now that we are actually downsizing from 5.4 to 5.1, and then we'll go to 4.9. You want to step to this side, Zeke? We'll see how these are doing. That's good. Got to give them a little bit of air to breathe. All right. Okay, I took off the top chamber that they were drawing out because it wasn't, they weren't using it much, so we could get down into the second one here and see what's going on. These are carnelian bees. Very nice. And this was just a starter strip. They've drawn it down. But one very common problem when you use a starter strip, as you can see, they're drawing out a lot of drone cells. These are the bigger drone cells as opposed to the worker cells. So, I'm not quite sold on using a starter strip. This is a complete foundation. That's doing well. It's mostly honey up here. Now when you encounter a lot of burr comb and when you encounter funny stuff, you tend to get yourself all sticky because you got to scrape and clean and pry things apart. Drone cells. The drones will help eat it, but they ain't going to help produce it. But this top is fairly full as far as drawing out and stuff. Alright, we're going into our last one now. There wasn't much to report in the downsizing there. This one is left at normal size. Just a couple of honey smokers going out. Let's check here. Ooh, hot too. Alright. No honey in these yet. Mostly full of honey. This is an old frame they're cleaning up, and they're filling it as they clean it, as they rebuild it here. And the rest of these are pretty much full of honey. Very much full of honey. A lot of capped off. Alright, so let's go down one and see if we can see anything pertaining to the dynamics of the hive here. Oh! Oh! I don't like lifting those. Honey. Lots of brood. Honey, lots of brood. Alright, the bottom generally is where you'll find some brood and a lot of the pollen that they store for food. So this one's looking good, looking normal. Producing honey. Producing honey. So I think we're going to leave it. And this is the Minnesota Hygienic full size. Alright, thanks for helping with that smoker, Zeke.
Yep.
So in a couple of weeks we should have honey coming up into the top since they're using up all the room down below. Looks good. So again, the carnelian one with the 5, downsizing to 5.1 right in the middle here. Not very successful because we use starter strips, lots of drone, but it is working. Then over here, the two 4.9s, not really thrilled with the type of bees. They're very aggressive and don't seem to like their home very much. And then the far one, the Georgia bees, again full size, doing just spectacular. The honey is a little bit behind this year, so I mean we can deal with that. We'll be fine. Just means we're not going to get quite as much. There's a bee on your arm looking for a place to get in. Put your arm out straight. There he is.
smoking. They want to go away.
Oh, there. Smoked them away. All right. Well, thanks so much for helping, Zeke.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time on Lifetime Productions.
Thanks for joining us. Don't hurt yourself, Dad.
Producing honey. Producing honey. Producing honey. A lot of honey in that one.